ABC News with Glenn Lauder. Facebook's reserving the right to pull Australian pages from its platform again, despite striking a deal with the federal government over paying for access to news content. In a statement, the company's Vice President Campbell Brown has welcomed the coalition offering to make some amendments to its news bargaining code. But he says that during the negotiations, the government accepted that Facebook retains the right to decide if news appears on its platform. Regardless of that, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg is chalking up today's deal as a win for the government.
Well, there's no doubt that Australia has been a proxy battle for the world. I have no doubt that so many other countries are looking at what is happening here in Australia because of this innovative code.
Australians on welfare will be required to search for 20 jobs a month in order to receive support. The federal government's announced it's increasing the base rate of JobSeeker by $25 a week, bringing the base payment to $307 a week. Welfare recipients will also be subjected to what's known as mutual obligations. Employment Minister Michaelia Cash says it means financial support will be cut to those who don't complete 20 job searches a month, and there'll be consequences if they don't accept an appropriate job.
The best form of welfare is a job, and our commitment as a government is to do everything that we can to get people who are on welfare into a job. This is all about acknowledging that if I am receiving welfare, I have obligations to do everything I can to get into a job.
A review into the workplace culture of federal parliament sparked by the alleged rape of a government staffer is to be absorbed into another independent inquiry. 4 separate reviews were announced after former government staffer Brittany Higgins alleged she was raped by a male colleague in Parliament. One of those was a review looking at workplace culture and support available for staff, led by Liberal MP Celia Hammond. That will now be included as part of a cross-party independent inquiry, and the Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he expects the findings will be made public.
I would hope that would be a reasonable time frame, and I would expect that to be well in advance of the next election. So that would be my hope and expectation, and I suspect that view would be shared by the other party leaders representing the many parties that are in our parliament.
The Victorian government is promising a royal commission into Crown's Melbourne operations will provide certainty about the gaming giant's suitability to hold a casino licence. It comes after an inquiry in New South Wales found Crown was unfit to hold a licence at the Barangaroo complex in Sydney, as Nicole Asher explains.
Today we heard the Premier speak for the first time since the announcement of the Royal Commission yesterday. He's said that he's willing to rip up the casino's licence if necessary, but he's also highlighted the importance of Crown in the economic and social landscape in Melbourne. It employs 16,000 people and contributes $3 billion to the economy, but he has said that it's entirely appropriate at this point in time to have the highest and most formal legal proceedings to assess whether or not Crown is fit to hold Melbourne's only casino licence.
Police have laid fresh charges against a man accused of operating a sexual slavery ring in Brisbane. Investigators allege the 35-year-old drugged women, tattooed them as his property and kept them for prostitution. He was remanded in custody earlier this month. 9 alleged victims have now come forward to police. The man is now facing 13 new charges, including grievous bodily harm. He's due to face the Brisbane Magistrates Court tomorrow. Overseas, and Europe's largest lender, the British-based bank HSBC, says its profits for last year fell by a third. The sharp fall is a reflection of the tougher market conditions in 2020 because of the coronavirus pandemic. HSBC has also announced plans to nearly halve its office space globally over the long term as part of a renewed cost-cutting drive. 3 major nature conservation organisations are warning that nearly a third of freshwater fish are at risk of extinction. With more, here's the BBC's Helen Briggs.
More than half the world's fish are found in lakes, rivers and wetlands, from carp and minnow to giant catfish. They face a number of threats, including pollution, unsustainable fishing and the damming and draining of rivers and wetlands. Conservation groups say 80 species are known to have become extinct, 16 in the last year alone. According to the WWF, much of the decline's driven by the poor state of rivers, mostly as a result of pollution, dams and sewage.
For more news at any time, you can head to the website abc.net.au/news.